Hi everyone, Drini here, and welcome to my channel. So we're going to take a look at the Star Atlas tokens today, in particular POLIS, because the DAO has been released over the past couple of days, and it has made the community excited, leading to a positive price action. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I still covering Star Atlas when I have pretty much sold everything, right? Well, that is because the channel mainly covers crypto gaming projects in general. Even though I don't own them, it doesn't mean that I cannot cover them. Price action is still price action, and a lot of people would still want to know where could the price action particularly go, especially since we are currently in a stage where there's a lot of uncertainty, but high likelihood probability is we will continue to go down. So let's dive into the charts just to see what I'm talking about. So I'm only going to focus on POLIS today because Atlas is pretty much mirroring what POLIS is doing. And as you can see, over the past couple of weeks, or in 3 weeks in fact, after the particular low at around June 27, the week of the 27th of June here, we have had 3 straight days of massive positive price action in anticipation of the DAO, of course, but it was also driven by Bitcoin sort of recovering during this particular relief rally. When we overlay the Fibonacci that we have set out since the beginning of the bear market, as you can see, what's been happening here is we are still adhering to Fibonacci structure when it comes to weekly timeframes. This particular 3-week move right here was a bounce off from the 1.618 right here all the way to the 1.414. Not surprisingly, because this is merely a relief rally, because remember our hypothesis here, our working thesis is this is a giant 5-wave structure but to the downside. So this relief rally is actually expected, and this is confirmation, of course, that this is our wave 4 before the subsequent continuation down. Right now at the moment, what's happening over the weekly time frame is we attempted to close above the 1.414 right here of around 0.56 cents. Unfortunately, we failed to do that, and we actually met the 1.414 as support right here, and right now we are on our way down. One of the things to note is this particular wave 4 is very similar to this particular wave 2 relief rally. 3 weeks of positive price action before the eventual move down. Now, it's very hard to sort of see the similarities between this wave right here and this wave right here when looking at it on a weekly time frame. Because when you look at the RSI, for example, the RSI has been pretty flat and it has been oversold pretty much since around November right here. However, when we switch back to the daily time frame, this is where we can actually see that the Star Atlas POLIS token has been undergoing multiple waves that need to be accounted for. What do I mean by that? So if you notice the RSI right here, if I stretch it out right here, what you can see is there are peaks that occur that match back to sort of the local highs for that particular token for POLIS, and then it goes into a cascade downward price action similar to this. But one thing to note is, for the past 2 occurrences now, what tends to happen is this: a peak, a cascade down that is fairly quickly goes to oversold levels, a relief rally right here, then you go to a sort of double bottom on an RSI perspective before the bounce back up. This particular peak right here, or this particular relief that sort of ended the wave 2 at around April 2 of 2022 was a peak, a quick descent onto the oversold territory right here. So let me just fix this. Oversold territory right here, a bounce back up right here before the eventual double RSI bottom. Before, once again, what did we experience? We experienced then another bounce back up. So given that on a daily time frame, we really appear to experience the same thing over and over, but we just continue to go back down. Where could we potentially go moving forward? Now, this is where we have to overlay the scenarios accordingly. If Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto markets continue to underperform, then do expect that if we are undergoing these mini cycles when it comes to the RSI, and we have done it twice now, the high likelihood, for example, is there are 2 scenarios at play. One is we may be repeating this particular wave 1 right here. So if I make the wave 1 exactly the same as what we have seen before, so let me just do that. When I overlay this particular price action with this, for example, then our eventual destination is roughly around the 2.272 and the 2.414. From a POLIS price action perspective, that is from the 0.09 price action all the way to the 0.068. This would be a prolonged downward trend right here, and it will roughly end at around November. So if the downtrend continues, if the global economies continue to really wreck us as investors, then do expect that there will be continued months of bleeding to come. It may also be slightly shorter. So if we are replicating the wave 3 right here, so this is the wave 3, let's go all the way to the bottom right here and just match it accordingly, like so. If we overlay that around here in this particular price level, where will we end up? We will end up roughly around October. So if we are replicating the same RSI trend as the wave 3 right here, we will roughly end at the same place, the 2.272, but this time it's slightly earlier. So somewhere around October would potentially be our eventual, hopefully, bottom before we bounce back up. Now, regardless of how you feel about Star Atlas, whether or not you think it's the best project in the world or you think it's a very good investment, if you're still holding the tokens because you really believe in the project, I do admire your courage here because the risk to reward ratio really is not in favor of not just Star Atlas but the other gaming cryptos as well. The one advice that I can give you is do not lock them up. Right now, we have the POLIS locking that is currently happening, and you can actually lock it for 2 weeks, 1 month, etc., all the way to like 5 years. And while I understand that a lot of you really, really like the project, that is why you're still watching Star Atlas videos, I really do want to throw a word of caution here. In a bear market, the last thing that you need is to lose your flexibility when it comes to your decision making. If you have locked it up for, let's say, 3, 6, 9 months, you are ultimately giving up the power to decide on your own. And that is one of the best ways to really regret your investment decisions, when you have lost your control when it comes to decision making. If you're still holding Polis or Atlas or whatever other Star Atlas NFTs that you have, and if you really believe in the project, then so be it. But please do not lock them up. Do not lose your freedom when it comes to making your own personal decision. You have already seen this with the people who locked up their particular investments, with the Luna investments, with Celsius, with Voyager, with all of these platforms. Keep your tokens as your own. Don't be in a helpless situation because the governments cannot help you. There are no laws yet in place here. There's no legal framework. So if you lose your assets because of this particular lockup, or if you lose the capability to actually sell to buy back lower, then that's on you. I've already covered this with my video on the CryoWar stupidity that I had. So please don't repeat that dumb decision that I made. Yo, before you go, like this video, subscribe, and share this video to your friends. Thank you very much and have a good day.